Okay, guys, let's get ourselves started. I think still quite a few more coming, but while we wait for them, the night goes on, doesn't it? So we've got to get going. Okay, as you'll see, CFA is busy. CFA level 1 is busy, lots to do. How many guys are new first timers? Okay, so we've got quite a fresh class. Okay, good. Okay, very nice. Okay, guys, for those that don't know me, my name is Russell. Okay, I head up the CFA program here. Okay, but I'm going to take you through the whole introduction. I'm going to take you through what is the CFA, what is our approach to the CFA, how much work we need to do, the different topics we're going to go through, etc., etc. And you'll see I'm going to introduce you to a whole batch of different experts in different topics. So you'll see me for the bulk of the course, but I am going to introduce you to specialists and experts in the area as we go along. Okay, good. Guys, let me just close it off so we don't get disturbed. We've got I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but we've got the FRM guys running as well, financial risk managers. Okay, something to do when you're finished. Okay, keep you fresh. Okay, let's jump straight in, guys. As I'm sure you guys are aware, okay, this is the June paper. I always check that with the guys first that they're in the right class, because I once had a girl, I was teaching investments, equity investments at Honours, and she came and she sat in the class, and after about 2 hours, she picks up her hand, lovely, she was a blonde, but I mean, that doesn't, the story is still the story, but she happened to be a blonde. And she said to me, "What class is this?" I said, "What class are you here for?" So she said, "Tax." I said, "I haven't mentioned tax in 2 hours." Okay. She said, "But she said, this is so interesting, this equity stuff." I said, "Yeah, but it's not the tax class." And then she promptly left. So I always just check with people. Everyone here for CFA level 1? Okay. Guys, let's have a quick look at your program. Okay. If memory serves, you write around about the 15th of June. Okay. It's a Saturday. Could be 15th or 16th, somewhere there. Okay. It gives us 6 months. And my CFA level 2 class shouted at me on Tuesday night. They said, "I mustn't tell people it's 6 months because it's not 6 months." I said, "It works out to be 6 months. It's Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and June. That gives me 6. They said, "That's creative accounting. I understand that." Okay. It's really 4. Okay. Because we've got a little bit of Jan, a little bit of June. So we've really got these big 4 months in between. Okay. And I'll introduce you to how we're going to work in the 4 and a bit months, what we're going to give you, what we expect back from you. Okay. But let's talk about the exam first. Guys, it's a 3-hour paper in the morning, 9 till 12. You write on a Saturday morning. Can anyone not write on a Saturday? Okay, I know there's some certain sects that can't. Jewish guys can't. Seventh-day Adventists can't. So is everyone good? Okay. There is an exemption that you can get to write on Sunday. So if you want to try and steal the paper on Saturday and then write on Sunday, okay, don't do that. Of course not. Okay. And there's so many checks and balances, so we'll go through that as well as we go. But the morning session is 9 to 12. You write on Saturday morning. Okay. You take a 2-hour break, and you come back and you write another 3 hours in the afternoon. Great. Thanks, Anna. Please. Okay. Those are your 6 hours. And you do this again next year, June time, for CFA level 2, and you do it again the year after for CFA level 3. It's the same format, how they write the paper. Okay. Looking at yours, guys, you've got 120 multiple choice questions in the morning, 120 multiple choice questions in the afternoon. Okay. Maths is easy, guys. Okay. If we have a quick look, it's 180 minutes. You happy with that? Okay. To do 120 multiple choice questions. Okay. You've got 90 seconds a question. Okay. Is that quick? Averagey. You can do it. Okay. And how can you do it? Okay. With a lot of practice. Guys, we're going to hammer you with questions. The only way you can get to write this paper successfully is with practice, practice, practice. You do questions after questions after questions. I've got tons of questions for you. We've practiced under exam conditions. We practice under non-exam conditions. We give you tutorials to do. We're going to really, really push the pace a little bit here. We'll talk about that in a second. But don't feel bad, guys, because you're not the worst off. Okay. The Kaya guys, have you guys heard of Kaya before? Kaya's Chartered Alternative Investments. It's a whole designation just on alternative investments, hedge funds, private equity funds, etc. They've got 72 seconds a question. Okay, so then the FRM guys get 240 seconds, so they get the most. Okay, but guys, 90 seconds is very doable. You guys can do it. Okay. The beauty about CFA level 1, guys, and then by the way, so you do your 120 questions in the morning, you breathe, you get something to eat, and then you're back in. Remember, guys, it's not 2 hours. Don't be fooled by the fact that you only start at 2 o'clock again. The reason I say that is because you've got to hand your papers in. It takes time to leave the room. You've got to be there 15 minutes before. Okay. And there's about 3,000 of you writing in the convention center, wherever you're going to write. Traffic doesn't move so quickly, so you don't budget. I like to try and give you as honest an approach as possible, guys. You don't really have that amount of time. Husband, grab a file. Okay, so you've got time, but okay, and you come back for the next 3-hour session, 2 till 5, upon which you are completely finished at 5 o'clock. 6 hours of writing is long. Okay, and part of what we're going to do, guys, as part of our program, is to get you fit for that. Okay, a lot of guys say you'd never try and run a marathon on your first attempt, would you? Okay, I would never try and run one anyway, but okay, we're going to do the same thing for you here. We start doing small quizzes, small tests, tutorials, things like that, and build up and build up and build up, so you've got the stamina to write. I had a girl that phoned me about a year ago, if memory serves, just before the CFA level 1 paper, and she said to me, she says, she introduced herself, and she said, I don't know her. She wasn't part of the program. I said, I know that. She said, how do you know that? I said, I know every student. Okay, so if I bug you and I harass you while you're not in class, you'll get to know me. I'm a pain. I want you here. Okay, you paid. You're here to learn. Please come. Okay. Anyway, I said, I know you're not one of my students. So she said, well, she just wants to ask my advice. She knows I'm a lecturer and this is our area. And she's gone through the syllabus inside, outside, backwards, and forwards brilliantly. Okay, but she just hasn't done any questions yet. What do I think? I said, what do you mean you haven't done any questions? So she said, no, she's just gone through the syllabus. But when I say brilliantly, she said, test me on anything. I said, no, listen, I trust that you've gone through. She says, I said, no questions at all, nothing. I said, have you sat down to write a paper? Nothing. She said, you're sounding nervous. She said to me, you're sounding more nervous than I am. She said, what do I think? I said, I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. She said, what does that mean? I said, you go out there and do your best. And she said, you're not sounding confident. She said, I'm making her nervous now. So I said, just go out there and really give it your best shot, knowing full well there's no chance. And she phoned me when she got results. Said, can I join the program next time? I said, with pleasure. She joined us and she passed. But guys, it's very much about, there's no geniuses in the room. I don't know if there are. I'm not judging anybody here. Okay, but the people that will get through this course, guys, are the guys that have got, I call them cast iron behinds. You can sit and you can work long hours. You practice, you work. It's not. There's very little in this course that's rocket science. If you want the rocket science, the quants, the derivation of the formulas, of that you go to the FRM class. That's the quantsy kind of stuff. This stuff, we do everything. It's not so hard. Not easy. This is CFA. I'm not saying this is easy by any means. But your biggest challenge, guys, is not the difficulty of the work, it's the time. Okay? People say 300 hours. I hope they didn't, the beauty is I don't feel bad to tell you all the stuff, the truths. Yep. Hi. My name's Russell. No one's ever called me sir before, but grab a file. Okay. So yeah, I've never been a sir. I don't know. I'd have to put on a tie to be at least a smart shirt to be a sir. Okay, we're very informal here, guys. You'll see I'm going to give you all my email addresses, my cell phone number. Okay, you can phone me anytime. Send me. Normally WhatsApps are better because I do sleep, please, guys, between 1 and 4 a.m. So if you could just respect those last 3 hours I've got left to myself. Okay. Any other time, and if you are working between 1 and 4 a.m. because everybody works at different hours, just send me a WhatsApp and I'll pick it up as I get up with pleasure. But the key, the success to CFA, guys, is the hours. 300 hours is old news. 350, 400 hours, guys. And when we talk about the hours, guys, it's each man to themselves. I don't prescribe any hours to anybody. I'll give you a bit of a rough guideline. That's why everyone says to me, do we give out a timetable? I said, no. A study timetable. I said, I don't do that because everyone is so different. You know, some guys like to work 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Some guys think that that's just murderous. And, you know, I think anyone that's working after 10 p.m. is crazy. Okay? It's when my brain dies at night. Some people's brains wake up at night. Each person to themselves. But you've got to find the hours, guys. You've got to find those hours. As I say, I don't mind telling you these evil truths now because I didn't make you register. You did this all to yourselves. Okay. Is it worth it? For sure. For sure. This is the gold standard of investment designations. There is nothing better. You know, and I can say that objectively because I don't really care. Because I can be we're a service provider. So I can be a service provider to whoever I choose to be. And we've chosen the three best. CFA for investments, FRM for risk, and Kaya for alternatives. And we are going to add one, which I want all of you to do. We'll just see how we can plug it in. Mainly for level 2 guys on financial modeling as well, which is just so valuable to add into your careers and to your path. But we'll talk about that as we go. Okay, so guys, the key over here, guys, is just going to be lots and lots and lots of hard work. I'd love to tell it to you in a nice way, in a gentle way, but there's no nice way to tell you you've got to work hard. It's not the geniuses that are going to pass this course. It's going to help. You know, if you've got a good brain on you, that helps, doesn't it? You get through the work a little quicker. But this is just hours in the chair. Okay. Guys, the beauty about level 1, okay, every level's got its own beauty, okay, attached to it. But level 1 is 120 multiple choice questions in the morning. I'll show you how the breakdown works. 120 multiple choice questions in the afternoon. Okay. Every section of the 10 are examined in the morning and in the afternoon again. Okay. And the beauty about this, guys, if you see a question and it looks too long, it looks too hard, it looks like something that you haven't seen, what do? You move on. Remember, guys, if you drop a question, what have you dropped? 1 out of 240 questions. Can you still pass on that? For sure. Okay, so what's your name? Werner. Should you guess? Yes, of course you should guess. There's no negative marking at all. Okay, I'll tell you my next story. I had a guy phone me the week before CFA, and he said he's gone through all 9 topics, averagely well. He needs about a week to polish the 9. But economics, which is 10% of the syllabus, he hasn't really touched yet. Okay. What I suggest? I said I suggest that you polish the 9, which will give you 90% of the work. Okay. Leave out economics. He says, I said completely leave it out. He said, and then I said, then when you get into the paper, okay, because they tell you when you're entering the economic section, they tell you when you're entering the ethics section, etc., etc. When you get to economics, I said, what's your name again? Remind me. I knew what his name was, of course, but I said, he said, Arno. I said, okay, then you put all A's. A for Arno. He said, are you mad? He said to me, have you been drinking? I said, no, that's what you do. I said, because the CFA weighted like that, don't they? They make sure that if you're going to guess, the maximum for your guess, remember there's A, B, and C, isn't there? Those are your options. So the maximum that you can guess by guessing will be 40%, 33 to 40%. So I said, look what you've done. You're going to do well on the 90% because you managed to polish those sections nicely. I said, on the 10%, you're going to get about anywhere between 3 and 4%. But please, I said, don't try and guess. Don't go A, B, A, C, C. Pick one. I said, you gain 2 things like that. You guarantee yourself of anywhere between 3 and 4%, don't you? Okay? Because of those 10%, 3% will be C's, 3% will be B's, and 3% will be A's, roundabout, won't they? So that you can't game the system. Okay? And look what else you gain. I said, how long does it take you to put down A? It's quick. Not 90 seconds, is it? So you gain more time on the other stuff. And he phoned me after the paper. He said he was a bit nervous to do my approach, but he listened, and he passed first time. Okay. But I've been doing this for a long time. I had a discussion with one of our competitors who called me Lati. Okay. And he apologized after. He said, but he said, I just look young. That's just why he said it. I said to anyway, when he called me Lighty, I said to him, I said, bro, when did you get your designation, your CFA designation? He said, 2004. He said, I've had it for like 13 years. I said, I got mine before the turn of the century. Okay, 1999. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I was one of the first South African guys to get it. In my day, there was no classes. There was no. So I've done this for a long, long time. I've been from the bottom all the way up, seeing how all the changes that they've made. I mean, and that's why I say it's the most marvelous organization designation that you can get. There's a lot of other little investment designations that you can pick up on the way, but this is just the gold standard. Very worthwhile to do, but it's going to be work, guys. Okay, so yes, Werner, please guess. Okay, now negative marking. Okay, but and as we get closer to the time, I'm going to show you all different techniques, approaches, things that you can use if you're unsure of an answer, things like that. And that's why I was so sure. I had no doubt that this girl was going to fail. If you haven't practiced questions before, you're going to fail. Not a question. But that doesn't apply to any of us, of course, because we're going to do tons of questions. Tons and tons. Is anyone getting married or anything strange like that during this next 6 months? I always ask that because one guy said to me, he said, phoned me before, he says, he is getting married. He wants to tell me up front he's getting married, but he's going to be fine. I said, how long are you taking off for? He says, 2 weeks. I said, you're not going to be fine. He says, what? I said, it's too long. I said, can't you get married quicker than that? And he said, no, he says 2 weeks, and that's the whole process. Whatever. I said, that's fine. He was back. Okay. So, and guys, I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to, but I love to put all the cards on the table up front to show you what the hours that you need to work, how you need to work, the commitment that you're going to need to put in, and you know, from then on it's up to you. Okay. Because what you're going to find, guys, is that the course starts and then it moves. Okay. You'll find that we go through topics very quickly, not very quickly, but it happens once a week, and we go through, you know. And I'll take you through the timetable, show you just where we're going to land up quite quickly. So you've got to be working. Okay. Let's just have a quick look at the topics. And once I've gone through the topics, we'll go through the approach that we love to use. Ethics. Okay. 15%. Now, if we we'll pick on ethics for now. Okay. But if you look at ethics, guys, what does 15% mean? Okay. It means 120 questions in the morning times 15%. You happy with that? Okay. So there's 18 ethics questions in the morning. Okay. And there's 18 ethics questions in the afternoon. Okay. When we move to quants, 10%. Okay. That would mean there's going to be 12 questions in the morning, 120 times the 10%, and 12 questions in the afternoon. That makes sense, guys. And the beauty about level 1, okay, when they tell you ethics is 15%, it is 15%, which you can be guaranteed, guys, you're going to get 18 questions in the morning and 18 in the afternoon. There's no tricks over here. They're not trying to fool you with the weightings. Changes in level 2 and a change in level 3, because in level 2 and level 3, they use variable weightings, and they say ethics will be between 10 and 15%. Level 2, level 3, a similar story. Level 1, it's crystal clear what you're going to get. There's no surprises in level 1. Okay. There we go. Okay. If we just have a quick look at what the topics are. So ethics is 15%. Guys, I'm going to beg you. We're going to do ethics, a little bit of ethics tonight, and we'll close off with ethics again next week. Okay. Quite a theoretical topic, but it's 15%. Free. Not free, but easier to get if you put your work in. Not a crazy session. You've got to learn the ethics. Okay. Quants. Good news for you guys this year. This is the first year the weightings have been dropped. If we have a look over here, and you can decide. I never like to give any kind of real firm guidance as to what they're going to ask because of what has changed over the year. But last year, ethics was 15, still 15. Okay. Last year, ethics was quants was 12. They've dropped quants down a little bit. Okay, down to 10, a weighting of exam weighting of 10%. Okay. Economics was 10, still 10. Okay. FRA, are there any chartered accountants here? Not one. Any normal accountants? Nobody. Okay. It's so funny. I've got there's about 40 guys in level 2. There must be 15 chartered accountants, and nothing in level 3 again. I don't know where they all came to level 2. I don't know where they're coming from, these CAs. But they love the FRA section, guys. FRA is financial reporting. So that's really just the accounting section. Used to be 20, dropped down to 15. Okay, that's good news for the majority. Not a lot of guys love FRA. Okay, journal entries, debits, credits. It's really it's full on. I hope they told you this before you read it, but there's a lot of accounting in there. Okay, but that's dropped down to 15, so that'll help the non-accountants quite a bit. CorpFin, okay, that one's gone up from 7 to 10. Okay, equities was 10 to 11. Alts, that's the big one. And my sense is part of the reason that the alternatives have gone up from 4 to 6 is there's a lovely partnership going on at the moment between the CFA Institute and the Kaya Institute. They talk to each other quite a lot. So there's a lovely link in between those two. To the extent, guys, once you've done your CFA level 3, you can jump straight into Kaya level 2. You can skip level 1 if you wanted. Something not for tonight, of course. Got a few more years to go, but you'll remember this. Fixed income was 10, gone to 11. Derivatives, I think it was, memory serves, it was 5, gone to 6. And Portman was 7, down to 6. Okay. The only, in my mind, guys, the only meaningful shift that there's been is in financial reporting and analysis. It's dropped from 20 to 15, which is good news generally for the guys, because guys don't love that. And where did that 5% get made up? It's a little bit in CorpFin, took a bit of it, equities, fixed income, and alts. You can see there's a little bit in all of those ones, but really meaningless shifts other than FRA being dropped down quite a bit. Okay, good. Okay, guys, if you don't mind just to fill in your names. We've got your cell phone numbers on record, but if you don't mind just to give it to me, because what we do, okay, is we're going to form ourselves a WhatsApp group. Some people call it a support group. Okay, I give a lot of details over there. If classes change, times change, reminders, things like that. Any nice investment stuff we can put onto there as well. Okay, so if you don't mind just to put it onto there for me, there'll be, and I promise you, by the way, that I do not sell any of your, I won't use your cell phone number inappropriately, number one. And number two, obviously, I'm not going to sell it to any marketing company. I hate them more than you do, I promise you. Okay, so you can be guaranteed your numbers will be safe. Okay, obviously, just in terms of that WhatsApp group which we're going to form, guys, please keep it professional. Okay, and as much as I say that, I say, guys, keep it professional, keep it professional. Reason being is because nobody wants your phone beeping all day with stupid stuff. Okay, I know we're all professionals, we've got work to do. But it is a very useful resource that I can make use of, and you can make use of if any changes do happen. But as much as I say that, guys, one of my level 2s, bless him, okay, sent this picture out on the CFA level 2 group, a picture of Facebook 10-year challenge winner, and it was, I don't know what his or her name is, I don't know, some Jenna, I don't know what. And the 10-year challenge was him being a male to a female. Okay, guys, please. I gave him some private rebuke, but it didn't help because he keeps on sending rubbish on the. If you've got a nice joke, please send it through on the WhatsApp group, you know. But let's limit that. Let's keep it as professional as we can. We had one guy last year. Guys, please. One thing you'll learn very quickly about me and about our program is that it is completely not political. I love everybody the same. I don't care where you're from, what you're doing. Okay. And one guy decided to post a picture of Jacob Zuma's watch. And how did he get the watch or something? I don't know, something stupid. And 95% of the guys in the group thought it was hysterical. And he meant it in good humor. Okay. But one guy took great offense to it. He says he's a big supporter of Jacob Zuma, as is anybody entitled to be. Okay. And please, can we? And he got really upset about it. And guys, you've got to respect everybody, you know. So please keep politics off it. If you don't like land appropriation or whatever they call it, that's not for this group. This group is a purely investment. If you've got a funny joke, please post it. Okay, but keep all nonsense off, please, guys. You'll find over time we get quite close to each other. Okay, it almost becomes a little bit family-ish. Everybody works together. We're in this together. It's not a competition. We're all working together. Please, please don't. Let's not offend anybody. It's not, this is investments. This is not, if we went into politics or things like that, we've got to send you some. I don't know anything about that. So that's for something else. Okay, so please just keep the group as sacred investment-wise as we can. And again, guys, if your dog or your cat has a baby, okay, huge congratulations to the cat and to the family. But please don't post pictures of your cat's birth or anything like that. Okay, let's keep it as investment basis as we can. Okay, guys, if we look at the actual program itself, everybody is entitled to a free copy of the CFA curriculum, and I'm sure you guys have seen that when you registered, you can get a free ebook. Okay, there's I think 5 or 6 of them. Those comprise 3,212 pages of tiny print. Please don't read them. Okay, the notes are more than sufficient. The source of your success, guys, is in understanding the notes and tons of questions. Okay, it's not going to be too much in terms of reading. Make sure you can read everything. I had one girl that came in here once, and she said to me, she booked an appointment. Okay, and she walked into the boardroom first, and she said, the other guys are just bringing the stuff. So what stuff they're bringing? Who else is coming? No, she had bought 4 separate prep provider stuff. She bought Kaplan or Schweizer, Wiley. She bought Analyst Online. She bought, and she had these, like, no disrespect, but 2 or 3 heavies coming carrying all these books. They're heavy, those books. And she piled it, and I told the guys, you can put them there, and spoke to her about 10-15 minutes, and she said, what order should she read the books in? So I said, what? She said, well, what must I do with the books? I said, can I be honest? She said, yeah. And I took my hand like this, and I did this with her books, off the table, and they all crashed. All these books hit the ground. And she said, oh! I said, just leave them there. The heavies will pick them up, don't worry. She said, and then what? I said, then you leave them alone. I said, all the questions, Schweizer's questions are the same questions as Wiley questions are the same questions. We're all using a similar approach, okay? Your key to success, guys, is in the amount of time and effort that you put in, not in reading 500 different books. Okay. Are our books sufficient? I've had tons of guys pass on our program. I've had a lot of guys fail as well. Okay. It's not about necessarily, are the notes good enough? My notes are definitely good enough. I've had guys coming from other providers saying they prefer my notes. Some guys prefer. They're more than sufficient. Keep in mind, of course, guys, we are a preferred service provider to the CFA, and I've got to submit my notes to them for approval. So they've all been approved. So, but that's not the key to success. The key to your success, guys, is going to be your hours. If you can put more hours in the next guy, remember, guys, this is a numbers game. They put a certain number of guys through, percentage through. So we're all together, but everyone else, you're just trying to give a bit of a nudge on the other end, aren't you? Okay. They give you a lot of good questions as well, guys. 1,557 questions in those books of theirs. Learning outcome statements, guys. I want to focus on this for 2 seconds. Learning outcome statements. So there's 525 learning outcome statements. Okay. The way I work, just to make sure that we cover everything, I'm just going to take you to one quick set of notes over here, guys. To jump ahead, the first section, the ethics section, and you can see every single learning outcome statement I put there as a heading, and then I give you some information on it. We go down, we go down, we go down, turn the page, and then there's the next one over there, learning outcome statement 1B. And then you're going to find 1C, 1D. I go through each and every single learning outcome statement just to make sure, guys, that we've covered every single thing. Nothing is left out. I promise you that. And the reason I do it like that is just to make sure that we cover every single topic, because when the CFA asks their questions, if you have a look, let me just take you back there. Look at this, guys. And this is a reason we'll just expand on this just a little bit. But if there's 525 learning outcomes, chapters, call them what you wish. Okay? Now 525 learning outcomes, and how many questions? 240. How's that? You're not even going to get 1 question per learning outcome. It's half a question per learning outcome. Okay, and the reason I try to encourage this, guys, is if you are battling with a section overly. Okay, I had one guy. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of Bayes' theorem. Anyone familiar with Bayes' theorem? It's quite complicated a little bit, and it's part of the quant section. Okay, and he phoned me after 2 weeks to tell me, he said he could not let Bayes' theorem get the better of him, and he spent the last 2 weeks, he studied it, he's got it right. He has completely mastered Bayes' theorem in 2 weeks. He said, what do I think? And I don't know what he was hoping for me to say, but you'll notice I said, I think you're an idiot. He said, what? I said 2 weeks on one learning outcome side where there might be one question. Guys, you have got to prioritize your time. You've got to prioritize your work. This is as much about cleverly planning what you're going to do as it is the time that you spend. You've got to work cleverly. To spend 2 weeks on one learning outcome out of 525, and you may or may not get a question on it, leave it alone. Okay. So we're now early in January, so we can cover everything. Great. But as we get close to the time, if you find you're battling with certain topics, things are upsetting you, troubling you, you'll come and talk to me, and we'll strategically work out what you need to focus on and what not. But please, we've got to work. This is the clever man's designation. You've got to work cleverly. Okay. There's 58 readings or chapters and 18 study sessions. Okay. If we break down the 18 study sessions for you guys, just to show you very briefly, I don't want to spend too much more time on this. There is 1 for ethics. There's going to be 2 for quants, 2 for economics, 4 for study sessions, 2 for corp fin. I think it's 2 for equities, 1 for alts, 2 for fixed income, 1 for derivatives, and I think they've now made it 2 for Portman as well. Okay, I hope that adds up to something close to 18. Maybe 1 or 2 off, but that's Jerry. And you can see, guys, look at the big weighting there for FRA. You've got 4 separate study sessions over there. That's the big one. Okay. And guys, if you have a look over here, if we just stop here for a second, okay, you can see there's big weightings to certain sections, isn't there? So we've got to get the big sections right. Ethics is a massive one. FRA is another massive one. And as we go on, you'll see the big ones. Okay, guys, let's have a quick look. Is everyone this side done? Okay, let's pop it this side. Okay, guys, if you have a look over here, your exam time, 15th of June. Thanks, man. Okay. Okay, that we've got. Calculator policy. Is everyone familiar with the calculator policy, guys? That's the HP12C. Which is the Hewlett-Packard that you can use, guys, if you want to use that one. It's a bit of an oblong one. It looks like this, sits like this way. Please don't buy it. If you've got it, great. I'll show you how to use it as well. If you don't buy it as, oops, okay, no problem. Okay, that's the HP. Okay, the easier one to use is the Texas. It's gotten so much so that the bigger, one of the biggest providers in the market, Kaplan, won't even teach on the HP anymore. Okay. Yeah, but yes, it is still a recognized calculator and can be used in the exam. But remember, guys, please, if you bring a calculator to the exam that's not a recognized calculator, you are thrown out. You're not thrown out, but you can't take it in with you. And it's tough writing a exam like this without a calculator. Okay. And I promise you, okay, there's not a guy in the room that's going to give you his second calculator if you've brought the wrong one. Okay. What's your name? 10. 10B, the 12. It uses a reverse notation, but as Verda says, it makes no difference. You can't use it. No, I'm not saying you're going to use it. Okay. I'm saying if you use HP12B, how significantly different is it going to be to use that? Yeah. First of all, very different. And my only advice I can give you, how many guys are using the Texas at the moment? Okay, so quite a few. Those that are not, and I know a calculator for you financial people, and myself included, it's almost like your wife or your husband, isn't it? You love it. Okay, you don't want to let it go. This is your baby. And the guys that wrote matric later than I did, they've got those fancy ones that even does like brackets and commas for you. Am I right? Can almost like buy you lunch. I don't know what else these things can do. You can't use any of those, guys. And you can't use any of them. And what I beg of you, I'm begging, is that you go buy yourself a calculator. If you haven't bought one already, you buy the Texas. Okay, I'll send out a WhatsApp picture a bit later, which two you can. Thanks, man. Which two you can use. Okay, um, and uh, um, and then what I ask, you've got two choices. You can either take the love of your life calculator and put it in your drawer, forget about it, or you can give it to me. I'll keep it for you. I promise. I've never stolen anything in my life. Not one of my tests. I've got other tests, but that's not one of my failings. Theft. I'll keep it in my drawer for you, and when you finish CFA level 3, I'll give it back to you. And it won't make any difference because you'll love your Texas so much by then. But guys, the successful use of your calculator versus the unsuccessful use is going to cost you a lot of time in that paper. So if you're familiar with the calculator, you use it well, you love it, you're confident on it, it's going to make such a massive difference. And the only way you're going to do that is if you take your daily calculator that you work with at work, okay, throw it away or give it to me. I've got a nice big black box over here. We can put them all in there, okay, and just use the Texas. Get used to it, love it, because once you do that, it's going to change your life for this paper. I can promise you that. Whereas if you keep on using your old one, because to answer, so what's your name again, sorry? Isaac. To answer your question is they all work very differently. Okay, so now do you push present value first before you push compute? Do you have to push compute? Don't you push compute? Which button comes first? Now, if you're not used to that, now you're in the exam and you're thinking, now, is my answer right or is my answer wrong just because I've done the wrong thing on the calculator? Do you know what I'm saying? So, guys, please, if I could ask you, okay, choose your calculator. Of course, you'll choose Texas. Unless, of course, you've got one already. And then put the other one away in a deep, dark place. Take the batteries out even. So you can't use it. Okay, and then you get used to using the Texas because not next week we're doing ethics again. The week after that we start to do quants, and the first section of quants, guys, time value of money, reading 6. Okay, so we do a lot of calculator work, and as I say, if you're confident on the calculator, you are a changed person. I can promise you that. Okay, so please, 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 when you come next week, I want a whole lot of calculators. I'll put them in my big black box over there. Or you can put, I trust you, you can put them by yourself. Top drawer stuff. Pull the batteries out and put them on the top drawer. Okay. And every day at work, when you use a calculator, you'll be using it. And I promise you guys, you will hate the first week. You'll be cursing me. Okay. You'll be cursing me. Oh, that idiot. I can't work this out and I'm late and my boss is asking me for something. Persist, guys. Persist because it's going to help you. Okay. Good. Okay, general knowledge. What do you think the triple C? I've even added another. I've got 4 C's. What do you think my 4 C's are? Okay. I've got 4 C's. Number 1, commitments. I don't even know how to spell it, by the way. It's just M's and T. I don't know what. But you'll learn quickly that this is not about spelling. Now, spelling, I promise you, is the worst in the room. Okay. But the good thing is, it's multiple choices. They'll never know. Okay. Commitment. And guys, the commitment is, guys, that first C is you've got to want this. So you've got to want to get your CFA charter holder. One of the girls phoned me and said to me, she's got a 6-month break between CTA because she finished her CTA in June. She has 6 months free. She thinks she'll try out CFA. I said, don't. She said, what? I said, don't. It's not something, it's not, come, let's see if you like it, maybe try it. You've got to want this. It's going to take up a huge chunk of your time, your hours. Okay? You've got to want this. This is something that you've got to really want. And if you want it, you'll get it. Okay? If you wishy about it, wishy-washy, and you're not sure, it's going to be a long 3 years, guys. Okay? It won't be 3 years. It'll be longer than 3 years. You've got to want to get this, guys. Okay? That's the commitment. Okay. Now, when we talk about the commitment, guys, what I always ask the guys, please, if you could, okay, is speak to your husbands, speak to your wives, speak to your boyfriends, speak to your girlfriends, whatever, your cats, your dogs, those that take up or expect a lot of your time, and explain to them, this is going to take up a lot of your time. Okay, this is a time, CFA is a time consumer. Okay, now if we have a look, I'll get back to my C's, don't worry. But generally speaking, in terms of guidance, what I give the guys is we expect anywhere between 1 to 2 hours daily for work. Okay, now when should you put those hours in? I got a guy, he approached me after the CFA Level 2 class, and he's managed to give me 5 hours a day. Okay, and he proudly presented his plan to me. Okay, it's either 5 or 6 hours. Proudly presents his plan is what I think. I said, I think it's a terrible plan. Okay, and the reason I say that, guys, is because you need to work hard, yes, but you need that moderation. You need to still go for a drink once a week with your mates if you're a drinker, a movie if you like movies, coffee if you like coffee, walk the dog if that does it for you, whatever. Can you walk the dog every single day like you used to, or go drinking every night? No. But there needs to be moderation, guys. And I said to him, I said, if you are working 6 hours a day from now, I said, your schedule will not make it out of January. I guarantee you that. And either you will have had a mental breakdown yourself, or you'll have just given up the program anyway. Guys, moderation, hard work, but with moderation. Okay, look after yourselves. If you're an exerciser, which I hope everyone is, except me, of course, okay, keep on exercising. It's good for you. Do whatever you need to do. If you know, every now and then, okay. If you like to watch those series, anyone's a series binger, okay, also good, nothing wrong. You can't binge anymore, but you can watch the series. Okay, my son proudly told me, he's just turned 15, and he said to me, Dad, and he's also a bit of a maths expert, and he worked out, he said, over the holidays he's watched so many thousands of hours of Prison Break. He's gone through series 1 through till 6 or 7, I don't know how many there are per session, and there's an hour, and crazy hours. Okay, so the crazy hours and the crazy stuff is gone. Normal, but please do watch your series every now and then you feel you need to. Okay, 1 to 2 hours daily, guys. If we look at it, that will give you. I'm going on the extreme. I'm going to say 10 hours from Monday to Friday. Okay, now guys, and you're going to have to make a bit more a little bit more resourceful. If you've got an hour at lunch, take it. If that hour at lunch is not a good time for you to work, don't work then. If you can get into work an hour early, take your hour then. If you like it afterwards, so what a lot of guys like to do, they finish work at 5. Some guys finish work at 6, an hour in the gym, and then they come back to the office just to work for an hour. Whatever works for you. Guys, it's complete. Don't try and become a 4 a.m. worker if you are not a morning person. You do the night shift. Okay. So it's either an hour or 2. I'm assuming you can get in 2 hours a day. If you can't, you can't. Okay. And then I want 8 hours on the weekend. Now, 8 hours on the weekend, 8 to 10 hours. Okay. If you look at it like that, guys, it means either working Saturday or Sunday. Okay, or both. 4 hours Saturday, 4 hours Sunday, or 8 hours on one and take one day off completely. Good for you, it's healthy. Your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever will appreciate that as well. Okay, but you're looking anywhere, guys, and this is round about what we're looking, round about 18 to 20 hours a week. It's a lot. Okay, close to 80 hours a month. Okay, and we've got about 4 or 5 months. You're getting to the. I like to talk. In fact, I've registered myself. I haven't registered yet, so please don't do it. I'm telling you this in conference. Please don't go and register this domain behind my back. 400hours.com. You know, there's a 300hours.com thing. I think it's completely wrong. I think it's misleading to the guys, and I want to register a new domain called 400hours.com. That's really where you need to get to, guys. Okay, and by this program you can. So I don't give you an official program says to you must do 1 hour in the morning. You'll work those hours out for yourself. If you can't do any weekday working, guys, well then you better make a bit more use of your weekends. Am I right? Everybody knows their schedules. But the key is when I come to the next one. Okay? Next C is consistent. Okay? And that's going to be the key, guys. Your success is your consistency. When do you work? Every day. Every single day. Okay, now, you got your best mate's wedding on the weekend. I hope you don't have that many best mates at this weekend after weekend after weekend. Okay, what do? You you give me 5 minutes. And why do I ask for 5 minutes when I've told you that your schedule is 2 hours a day or an hour a day? But you can't today. You're feeling sick. Your best friend's wedding. Whatever. I'm painfully aware that we're all humans, aren't we? Sometimes you're just too tired. Okay. Sometimes you can't. Give me 5 minutes. Because remember, guys, if you do 5 minutes today, what are you going to do tomorrow? You'll jump back in, won't you? If you'd miss completely today, what are you going to do tomorrow? You miss again. And then you fall off a little bit. So in terms of the consistency, guys, it's in every single day. So if you're feeling very tired, what I ask you to do, pick up your ethics and read me one standard. Professionalism, knowledge of the law. When you read it out, got that one. Happy with that? Put it away then. You've done 3-4 minutes, but you're in the program, aren't you? Don't fall off. It's very dangerous. That's the consistency side. It's an every single day thing. Okay, what else? This is one we've put in concentration. Okay, and what I mean by this, guys, okay, is that 1 hour of concentrated good working is better than sitting there for 4 hours like a dope. With respect, I get so many guys that say, "Oh, I worked 8 p.m. till 12 last night." I said, "How did you do that? You were impressive. Weren't you tired after getting up at 6 o'clock and working a full day and gymming and then?" No, I was exhausted. I pushed through. Guys, a concentrated hour is better. One concentrated is better than 4 hours unconcentrated. It doesn't make any sense. It's not when I and that's why I specifically put this one in to tell you guys. It's not about the number of hours necessarily. Yes, I ask for bum time, but it's got to be good bum time. You happy with that? It's got to be time that you feel that is good. Because remember, a good hour is better than 4 bad hours. Okay. I had one guy from Cape Town. We ran a revision course there last semester. And he said he loved the course, brilliant, everything was so fantastic. Only one disappointment that he wants to tell me about from the course. I said, yeah. He said, I only left them with 8 exam papers to do. I said, why is that a disappointment? He said, no, 8 papers is for him 4 days. I said, what do you mean 4 days? He said, no, he'll write a paper in the morning. He'll like almost mimic the CFA. So he'll write a paper 9 to 12, he'll mark it in an hour, and he'll write again 2 till 5, and he can do 2 papers a day. So 8 papers is really just 4 days worth of work. I said, and the feedback? He said, what feedback? He said, he marks it. I said, that's not feedback. I said, when you write me a 3-hour paper, okay, I want you to spend at least 3 to 6 hours going back over that paper, finding every single spot where you went wrong. Concentration, proper focused work, guys. And I think I shocked him a little bit. He said, oh, must we go over them in like that much? I said, yes. That's where your growth is, isn't it? That's where you find out where you went wrong. That's how you, so, and I said to him, I said, don't give me, I'm not interested in quantity of hours. I am also. But they got to be focused hours. Guys, you get back from work at 6 o'clock at night, you're tired, watch a series, eat supper with your spouse, lie on the couch. I draft notes and I prepare for classes all day. And often when I'm typing and doing notes, I get too tired. So then I go pass out on the couch for half an hour. My family finds me everywhere. I'm sometimes on that couch or that couch. I'm all over the show. Okay, but a half an hour on the couch and I get back to my desk, I'm like a new person. I can get another good few hours in. As opposed to trying to push through your exhaustion and you're just typing and making 100 million zillion errors and your work rate is much, much slower, isn't it? So it's about working cleverly. And the last thing I want from the guys, and this is very important, is to remain calm at all times. The workload is going to get big, guys. It's going to get a lot. It's going to overwhelm you. Just breathe. Anyone here do yoga? Okay, I also don't, but I think it sounds good. Okay, relax. Okay, if you need to phone me late at night, phone me. Okay, but relax, because this is a big course, guys. This is a big course. We had one guy in level 2, and he took this little baby a little bit too much to heart, and he came back to the next class and he said, let's see what he said afterwards, but he had a long chat with his girlfriend, and he told her that he can give her a certain amount of time, attention, time, whatever. Okay, and she said to him, okay, one night a week, is not enough. That was his offer. 1 night a week was exclusively for her. And she said to him, if it's only 1 hour a week, then you must choose. It's me or CFA level 2. Okay, which I think is a little bit unfair, but I'm not there to judge anybody. But anyway, so she said it's me or CFA level 2, and you know what he chose? CFA level 2. Okay. He's now a CFA charter holder, making lots of money. So I think I don't know if it's the right choice or not, but when I say to you, please go home and chat with your spouses, don't give them like ultimatums and say, well, my lecturer said that I'm never to see you. I can see you for 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon between 7 and 10 p.m. Please work out what works for you and your union. But I just say that, guys, so that you can go home and you can speak to your spouse or your loved one, even your family, your mother, your dad, whoever it happens to be, makes no difference, because it takes a lot of explanation. They need to understand what this program is. I dealt with one girl once. The guy was in the class, and his mom first phoned me and said, is my son going to pass? I said, who am I speaking with? It's his mom. I said, why are you phoning me? I don't talk to moms. Sorry, guys. If mommy wants to phone, you're big now. Okay, don't get mommy or daddy to phone me. Okay. So I said, mommy, listen. He's all I can tell you about your son, and I said, this is the last time I want to speak to you. He's a hard worker. He's doing the best he can. Leave him alone. Give him all the support that you can. Leave him alone. I thought that was the end of it. Within a week, his wife phones me. I said, who's his wife? I said, I don't talk to wives either. Please. I talk to students. I love you guys. I don't want to deal with people that are giving you uphill. She said to me, she said, I just want to check something with you. She says, I said, yeah. She said, he says he's got to work 300-400 hours to get this thing. And I'm sure that he's not telling me the truth. I said, well, what do you think he's doing? You think he's going to drink with his mates? Telling you 400 hours, telling you he's going to the library to work and then goes out drinking. What do you think he's doing? I said, either you trust the oak or you don't. She said, no, she just wants to check. She said, could it be this difficult? Is this designation that hard? She said, because I've got a degree and I didn't work that long and hard hours. So I said, what's your degree in? She said, she's got a BA in dancing. I said, sure, good. I said, I can imagine it wouldn't quite require the same amount of bum hours than a BA in. I said, how do you get a BA in dancing? Drama or dance? I don't know what. Guys, just explain, and do it nicely, of course. Explain to your loved ones that this is something means something to you. It's going to require a lot of time. Tell your friends, etc. You won't be able to drink every night like you were perhaps before. Please understand, and you will resume to normal life on the 16th of June. I think it's even a public holiday. How's that? It's a Sunday. Okay, I think we get off Monday as well. Okay, you can have a lekker long weekend. You'll write on Saturday. You'll be finished after that, and you'll have Sunday and Monday off. You'll take your friends, family, loved ones out on a... Okay. Guys, that is the program thus far. I'm going to do one more little thing with you, just to show you about the program. Okay. It's in the front of your folders. Okay. And this is the program. And guys, I especially give it to you up front. I printed in color even for you. I put it in the front of your folders. They're not going to change. It's going to be the same. Okay. Get used to it. Please don't book other things around it. These are your classes. One thing I just want to point out, you'll see sometimes, like for example here, when I start quants with you guys, we do 4 classes, and I go Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday. So you've got classes twice a week. And the reason that I do that is because quants follows on quite a lot from each other. So I wanted you to take a big block of time, okay, and within 2 weeks knock off the whole of quants for you. Okay. So just focus on this. Take a picture of it. I don't know if your cameras or your phones can do that. I'm sure they all can. And have it front of mind. I will still send out a message every time. Don't worry, I'm a nag. Please remember, guys, class tonight. Smiley face. Happy. Okay. Just to remind you that there will be class. Okay. Guys, then what we have every second, maybe third week, we have a tutorial, 4-hour tutorial. Okay. I've especially made it later on a Sunday for you guys. I know everyone likes to sleep, so I've made it like almost afternoonish, 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Nice and late. No one sleeps after that, do they? Okay. But it's late enough. I first used to make it 7, and the guy said it's just ridiculous. Then I pushed it to 8. Now I've pushed it to 9. But guys, this is the benefit stuff. Okay, and if you look at what I've done, guys, like for example, you look over here, ethics and ethics. The 2 classes are on the 17th of Jan and the 24th of Jan. Okay, I make the tutorial the 3rd of Feb, 2 weeks later. And we've tried to push everything, give you some time to prepare those classes, to understand the work. When you come to class, then you are to those tutorials, because that's where the gold is, guys. Okay, there's 2 real goals that you can get. One of them is in the tutorial sessions, and the other one is in the exam sessions. Please, guys, plan to come and write the exam sessions. Don't tell me. I know what happens. I've heard. If I've heard it once, I've heard it. Okay, the exam sessions start on the 15th of May. Which means you write 6 exams for me over around about nearly a month. Comes the 14th of May, the day before, I get lots of phone calls and say, I'm just not ready yet to write the practice papers, but I'm about a week behind. I'm going to catch them all up. Yeah. And then I never see you again. Okay. What is going to get you through this paper? Attending tutorials, doing questions there, under guidance, and these exam questions, guys. That is what's going to get you through. Okay, if you have to plan to only come to 2 parts of the course at all, I would come to the tutorials and the exams. Those are going to be your key value drivers. Okay, and there's almost a 90% correlation between the marks you get in these papers of mine and the guys that pass. I'm seldom wrong. I sat with my lecturers after the course finished, and I said these guys are going to pass, and unfortunately these guys are not going to make it. And I was right on everyone almost. And I'm no genius. I'm definitely not a prophet. That's for sure. Can't see anything you do. But the success comes from the classes that you attend and the results you get over here. Okay. I'm hoping to scare you just a little bit before we build you all the way back up. Okay. You've got to be a little bit scared. Okay. And the last little and obviously here we do a 3-day intensive revision course. But remember, guys, if you are in this program, you've paid for everything. Come to everything. I'm not saying it's free because you paid. But everything here is part of the program. Please make use of it. The revision program is across 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So guys, up front now, my advice is please speak to your bosses. Ask for that Friday off. I know it's on the 10th of May, and that's about 5 months away, but do it now. Okay. Yep. Should be a Sunday. Definitely. I can tell you that for sure. Okay. Those I don't know why the gremlins got to those two. Those should both, thank you for that. Those are both Sundays. Okay. I'm glad you're looking ahead. Good. That's what I like. Okay. Good. Okay, those have changed those to Sundays. Okay. The last little point before we open the floor to any questions. What's the pass mark? How much? 43% is a pass rate. That's the amount of guys that get through on an international level. Okay, so internationally, 43% guys. First 43% guys are home. What's going to be for this year? Round about the same. What pass mark? What do you have to get? 70% of the highest scored. It used to be the highest scored 1%, by the way, not just the person. Okay, what's your name? Sorry. Okay. It's changed a little bit since then. Okay. Kaya, which is models itself quite a bit on CFA, so we take some guidance there. Tell you that if you get 70%, says Kaya, okay, you're guaranteed of passing Kaya. Okay, but it's a close link to CFA as well. My sense, guys, my overriding sense is 65 is going to get you through. Round about 65 upwards. Okay, that's hard. Okay, every other exam you've written up until now, I assume, unless it's been one of these professional designations, because they're all the same, FRM, Kaya, CFA, all require these high-level pass marks. But everything else is 50, isn't it? I had my accountants, because every now and then I go and I lecture the honors guys in accounting for their board papers, and they say, your CFA guys think that they're so clever. This is much harder than what they do, they tell me. I said, the only difference in what you guys do and what my CFA guys do is about 17%. They say 17. Didn't you tell us 65 is the pass rate? So I said, yeah, still 17. I said, because if you guys get 48, they still push you through. Okay, they didn't like that. Okay, but anyway, it's the truth. 47 to 50 for those undergrads and postgrads, they're normally going to push you through. Psycho, maybe not. Okay, but I know UNISA at the CTA level, they used to push them. And how do you know that? When a guy comes through and he's done 5 subjects and all of his 5 subjects say 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. You didn't get 54 or 5. Okay, you were pushed. Okay, and I've seen some of the subscripts afterwards, the scripts the guys get. But I always say we never look at other people. That's never my intention. The intention is to look at getting ourselves through. Okay, 65. It's a tall order, guys. Okay. If we take a break, which we'll do for about 10-15 minutes, any questions? I'm too shocked. Okay. All right, guys, just the plan. Yep. Okay. It's always a difficult question for me to answer because I don't really know. Because I don't, if you write the CFA program, you'll get I don't get your results. I don't get any of your results. So whether you share them or not is completely up to you. So I don't get to see quite a few of them. Some do, some don't share. Personal preference. My initial feeling was that if you didn't share for me, I was quite convinced that you had failed. But I subsequently found out some guys just don't like to share. Okay, is what it is. My latest one, and I can share with you my CFA level 3 results, because surprisingly enough, it was a smallish class. We had about 20 in that class. Last year, we got a 68% pass rate. 70% pass rate for that. But again, I'm exaggerating because the CFA level 3 pass rate is higher than the 43. It's about 52, 53. So 70 is still good, and we were very proud of the guys. But if I could get a 70% pass rate with my level 1 guys, I'd be ecstatic. Okay. My sense is we're over the international pass rate from the feeding that I've got and the numbers that I do get. But again, I've asked the CFA, interestingly enough, I've asked them to give me the South African pass rates, because international, it's you'll give me your advice in a second, but they won't release that. They only release international pass rates. They won't give it per region. I've even asked for EMEA. They won't give me. So let me ask you this, guys. If the international pass rate's 42, what do you think the South Africans is, higher or lower? Difficult, but it's difficult, because the thing is, if you look at who's writing, there's some top guys writing in that 42. Because the Americans are generally better prepared than us in terms of the degrees they come in with. The Chinese, but guys, somewhat. So the truth is, I don't know, but I know it's higher than the 42. But how much by, I couldn't tell you, and I can't even tell you what the South African pass rate is. I'd love to get that. I've even approached the head. He's a really lovely man. If you ever get to meet him, I don't know if you guys met him when he was here, October time, November time. Paul Smith, he's the head of the CFA. Really lovely guy, I must tell you. They've got a good leader at the not that there wasn't before, but he's been around for about 2-3 years now. And he came to see all not that I'm special, I promise. He came to see all the providers when he was here. Really lovely guy, and he wouldn't tell me. So I couldn't. The numbers. How many guys do you think are writing CFA level CFA? This within let's put it this way, within the 2019 calendar year. Because remember, you can write CFA level 1 twice in the 2019 calendar year, in June and December, but you can only write level 2 and 3 in the June sitting. 250,000. Overall, between I'm going to say 4 levels: level 1, 2, and 3 in June, and level 1 in December. There's 350,000 guys writing. So it's so difficult to try and get statistics. I can't. My limited head doesn't get my head around that, I can tell you, because it's too difficult to try and track who was. And remember, there's about 4,000 guys in South Africa writing. It's a lot. So you can't really track who was. Yeah, it's the CFA is a bit of a secret society, guys. You never know what's going on there. They don't tell you too much. Not a whole lot of open stuff. Pass rates, pass marks. We don't know. And I promise you guys, one thing I can promise you with every ounce of my being, I do not get to see the paper. I don't know what's in the paper. They never phoned me before. Okay, so please, I had one guy that came on phone me, please, just he's really battling. Please, can I just give him a few of the questions in the I said, I promise I don't know. It's a state secret. I promise you, they guard the CFA paper better than any other state secret in the whole of the US ever, even more than Hillary Clinton's emails that she tries to hide from everybody. No one knows anything, and me for sure not. So, okay, that is the basic intro, guys. Okay, ton of work to do. By the way, I had 2 more C's added from my other class. I haven't put them in as formal C's. I'm not sure yet. What do you think? That give me the 6 C's and 2 more C's. One came from a girl, one came from a guy. What do you think came from the girl first? Come on, girls. Hey? No, not crazy. What do you think the girls asked for to get through the program? Coffee, chocolate. Okay. Girls wanted chocolate, and the guys wanted to cry. That was their C. Okay. But I'm not putting those 2 in yet. We'll see. We work on my 4 C's at the moment. Okay, guys, it's 20:07. Take about 10-15 minutes. Has everyone been fingerprinted? Can you all get back in? Okay. As you go down one flight of stairs, you're into the main Sandton City Centre. Okay. There's all the shops that are open still, etc. So don't, ladies, I'm not blaming the ladies, of course, but don't shop too long. You've got 15 minutes. Okay, guys, don't eat too much. If you order food or anything like that, guys, and the food is taking too long, with pleasure, I'm not fussy, bring it back, eat it in the class. With pleasure. This is your home for the next 6 months. Okay, guys, about 15 minutes. What we'll do after that, we'll work for around about an hour and a bit after that. And we're not going to do seldom do I ever go for 4 hours, guys. I know we advertise 6 till 10, but I'm fully aware that the guys can't. I'm the one that says I want concentration. My third C. Particularly tonight we'll go till about 8:30, 8:45. And most nights we go just after 9. I don't go unless there's a ton of work that we've got to get through, and the guys are all doing well. Yep. What do you mean? No, I'll give you free ones. So please, before you go, grab one of these. Sandton City parking is expensive. So 4 hours here, you're looking at about 30-40 Rand. Unless you get one of these and it's free. What do you do with your other ticket? Whatever you like. Okay, put it in the nearest bin. But please, guys, before you go, get a ticket. Okay. You've paid enough. You don't need to pay anymore. Guys, get out of here. Take a quick 10-15 minute break. And before we go, I'll give you, if anyone wants to take a ticket now, with pleasure. I don't like normally giving out tickets during the break because then sometimes you don't come back. If you promise you come back, you can take a ticket. Okay. See you guys in about 15. We're going to start promptly at about 7:35-ish. Okay, promptly.